Greetings and welcome to Hexed Countered. I'm Joe. In this video, we are going to be continuing our campaign in Europe. Now, in our previous mission, if you did not see it, I made a very bad tactical error and got within close range trying to kind of mitigate the rainy weather we were facing in that mission, and I ended up getting taken out by a Panzerfaust, killing 2 of my crew members and sending another one to the hospital for 4 weeks or so. So we are going to have 3 new crew members. Only the driver and myself survived that last mission unscathed. I elected not to try and upgrade. Actually, I don't know that I have enough prestige points at the moment to actually upgrade. So we're going to stick with our Cromwell because we get a replacement tank. I'm not going to upgrade it to the next, to something else. I was looking at a Sherman, perhaps, because we are playing in the Canadian Army here, right? Not the British Army, as I mentioned somewhat earlier here. Come on, there we go. The 2nd Canadian Armored Brigade. So that unit was traditionally, or historically, I should say, not traditionally, historically equipped with Shermans. So we're a little ahistorical here, but I figured I would give a nod to Canada here with this playthrough and go with the Canadian Army. So we're going to stick with our Cromwell here, and everything's loaded. I did, not properly play my ammo usage last round. I will attempt to not ignore and or forget rules and just kind of get through a mission clean here, and ideally actually succeed in a mission. So the first thing we are going to need to do is we are going to need to go to tank school for our new crew members. So we do have 3, as I mentioned. We have our loader, who does not need to go to training because he doesn't have anything that would actually be used or be trained, I suppose, there. But we do have a new bow machine gunner here in the front, and he has a weapons maintenance, so we will attempt to do the weapons training here. Right, and we'll roll 2d6 for each crewman. For each roll of 9 or higher, we get a weapons maintenance -1. So let me take my dice out of here. I'm going to use our 2d6, I think, if I remember correctly. All right, here we go. We got an 8, so that's a no. So nothing for him. Then our other one was our gunner, and he has a couple trainings he can do here. He's got the gunnery training, so we'll do that first. We're going to roll on chart B1, and then he will also get the weapons training. So we'll do weapons training first, since it's just a one-off roll here. And we got a 4, so that is also not going to get anything. Now we have to use chart B1, which is right here. Okay, and we are rolling on long range. So that's this one here. So we need a 2 to 5 for a hit. We roll 3 times. If we get 2 hits, then we will get the gunnery -1 marker. All right. So 11 is too high, so that's a miss. So we now need a 2 to 5 on these next 2, or we fail. And we got a 10, so I'm not even going to roll the 3rd one because it does not matter. So we've got new crew, but they don't bring any expert skills here to the party. And we're going to move on and just start our mission preparation. So here we have our cards, which I didn't look at last time, but we'll look at here. And you can see we're going to select our ammo for main gun and ready rack and load our machine gun. That's already done. We've got AP and HE, which are unlimited, but you still have to track them because you do have to reload. That was the key thing that I did not do with the machine gun stuff down here, which you have 4 in your gun, essentially. You go through that, and then you have to reload. And then we also have some AP capped here, right, which gives you an extra 1 on your penetration. So we're going to roll for our mission on A1. I'll enter it on the log sheet. Then we're going to roll for weather, terrain, and the enemy and place them on the board. and decide if we want to be going in buttoned or unbuttoned. So let's take care of that stuff. We'll start with A1. We're in this first column because we are still in June of 44 here. So we're going to roll here. Let's see what we got. We got a 6. A 6 is attack 1. Now we already did, this indicates a major event. We already did major event 1. So we're going to have an attack mission, which is actually what we had last time, which did not go very well for us. Put that on there. Then we're going to roll on our weather. And that's a 12 here, and that is mud, because we're in this section here. Okay, so mud, as we can see, is going to give a +1 to your HE fire on chart B2. All right, and the third roll is for terrain, and that is on this side of that card, and we're in here. So this is a 1d6 roll, and we got a 3, and that is woods. Okay, so let me place these down. Our weather is mud, and our terrain is woods. Now, the woods terrain gives you +1 on your HE and machine gun attack, and the mission starts at medium range. So let me put my Cromwell here at medium range, since we know we're starting there. Next up is our roll for the enemy force. So we're going to take our 2d6. We got an 11, which is this guy right here. So we get a self-propelled gun, 1 reconnaissance, and 1 half-track. Now we go here, and we're going to roll on this one and this one to determine our recon and our self-propelled guns. And we use the D10 for this one. We're going to roll. Whoops, I won't use that one. We got a 0, which is a 10. So on the self-propelled gun, we get a Nashorn. That'll be fun. Now we'll roll for the recon. We got a 9, which is a 234. Okay. And now we have to roll for placement. So placement, you roll 1d6. So we'll do them in order. Our self-propelled gun is the Nashorn, which is this guy right here. And it's, as you can see, that 9. It's got a big, powerful, nasty gun. So let's roll here and see where it's going to end up. It's going to end up with a 4, which is right here in the middle. So I think we know what we'll be trying to attack first. Then we get, let's roll for our 234. Got a 1, so this is the 234. Okay, it's got a small gun. And then third, but certainly not least, we have a half-track. It's a 2 as well, so it's also going to go in A, and you can see here's the half-track. It's equipped with a machine gun. So obviously, looking at this, our main target has to be the Nashorn. Has to be, because that's got a big, powerful gun that could paste us pretty easily. So we're going to move on to card 2, which is, you have 2A and 2B, depending on your mission. We are using 2A because it has attack and assault on it. So if assault, you conduct artillery mission, then the enemy fires first, right? Then you return fire, but not at any tank guns unless they fire at you. All right, so we are not having that mission. We have the attack mission, which is similar but doesn't have the artillery prep. Okay, so now we have to determine if any of these units are going to fire at us. So I usually work left to right. So we'll start with our half-track, and if they get a 1, they target us. They do not, that's 5. Now we'll try the half-track. Actually, I think the half-track will be unloading its troops, and I didn't check for the infantry morale, which determines their, or infantry type, which determines their morale. So let me do that. So that's a 1d6 roll here, and I can, well, I guess I could just take the 2 and give my, I mean, chances are you're going to get, well, let's just re-roll it. Whoops. I got a 1. Yeah, it's a 4. So it is a standard Wehrmacht line troops. which have a morale of 4. So those are familiar because we had them last mission. That's these guys right here. I'm not going to place them out yet because they will unload during the turn. And we need now to roll for the Nashorn and hope we don't get a 1. And we got a 2. Okay, so nobody's firing at us first here. Now, the way this works is you're kind of abstracting the fact that you're part of a company of tanks and you're moving up, or a group if you want to abstract it a little more. But I believe in the rules it does say company. Anyway, you're not the only tank out here, right? So these opponents are actually firing at other members of your unit, and you're not particularly targeted at the time, which is always good, because if you're not targeted, you're not going to get hit, and if you're not going to get hit, you're not going to get destroyed. So they have now made their move. Now we would unload the infantry, I believe, because these guys, if I remember correctly, half tracks will unload. It does say that. Half tracks do not fire as they are unloading troops. Okay, so they would unload their troops, and then these guys would also be in here as well. Now, since it's a half track, it stays to provide support. If it was a truck, which is what we had last time, the truck would actually leave at the end of the first turn. So you could target a truck if you wanted to knock it out, but they don't have any real combat value. All right, so let us now make our own moves. Now, as you probably know, if you've watched some of the previous videos, we have commands, and we have a list of those here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to make the mistake I made the last time, and I am not going to move up into close range. And my turret is already facing straight ahead, so I can fire at the Nashorn because he's directly in front of me. So that is what I am going to do. And we will use the APC round, the capped round, because it gives you 1 extra penetration. So our penetration becomes a 7 and not a 6. Now, because of the weather only affects HE fire. It does not affect armored piercing fire. So that's good. But we do now have to roll on our B1. So we are at medium range. Okay, and you see the modifiers. We don't have the gunnery skill. He's not yet a previous target. He will be for the second round, because since I didn't have to move or turn my turret, I have both commands and I can fire twice. So we're going to fire at this guy with medium range. So we need a 2 to 6 to hit. 7 to 12 will be a miss. And we don't have any of these modifiers because we don't have smoke, we don't have rain. I did not say whether I was buttoned up or not. I typically don't start buttoned up, which of course is risky, but I don't start buttoned up because I like to get to not have that negative modifier. And then once we're fired upon, that's when we button up. Now, you do run a risk of receiving injuries to your crew members when you do this, but it's combat and you can't always be safe in combat. So let's roll here for our 2 hit number. We get a 5. That is a hit. We did hit him. We're going to at least ring his bell. Now we need to do the penetration chart here. So their armor is, we need to roll to figure out where we hit them, I believe, first, right? After getting a hit, roll 1d6 if shooting at the front, which we are. Okay, 1, 2 is a turret armor, 3 to 6 is hull. It's a 1. So that is turret armor. Now his turret armor is actually only a 2. So that's pretty good. And so now we look here, and our penetration, because it's a 7, is greater than the armor. So let's roll here. Range effects, right? So these would be your DRMs, essentially. If we were at long range, we'd lose 1. Short range, we'd gain 1. Special ammo AP adds +1 to gun pen at all ranges. White phosphorus, which is, interesting. Okay. IMM results are treated ineffective versus hull down. They are not hull down. So let's attack. Let's roll to see what we get here. And we got a 4, and a 4 is destroyed. So we knock them out. Flip them over. And now we can use our second command, and we take this out, and I'll set it aside, and we'll use it when we reload, okay? Because we now have, we've now used one, and this is limited ammo. Actually, that's right. You just take it away. It's limited ammo. So since we're going to be shooting at these guys next, now 2 of those units do have armor, the half-track and the recon unit. So I'm going to load AP for that. And then for my second command, I'm going to actually turn my turret to face AB. Or AD rather, sorry. Because this guy's knocked out, so now we would check, we would roll that. So that ends that round, but because they went first and attack, you always go first. Well, your player side, which is typically British or Canadian, of course, goes first. And so we get to go first now. The only time you don't get to go first is in the first round of assault or attack missions. So that's why they got to go first. Now we get to go first. So now we will target, because it is slightly more dangerous, we will target the recon unit. Why can I not spit that out? So again, we are at medium range. So we're on the same thing again. This is our first command of the second turn. We still don't have any of these modifiers. None of these are in effect right now. And we got a 5, so that is again a hit. Okay, now in this case, I think we're not beside them, so I think this is still front. If they were up here with flanking, then we would be hitting them in the side, but we're not. So let's see where we did hit them. That is a 3, I think, yes, 3 is the hull. So in this case, hull is 2, unless I'm reading that wrong. Let me double check this. It wouldn't have mattered. Actually, it doesn't matter anyway, because our firepower is higher than that. It's a 6. So we do have enough penetration either way. So let's just roll for the, but I'm going to check that and I'll let you know. Anyway, we rolled a 5. So a 5, again, against penetration greater than the armor is going to be a destroyed result. So now we've knocked that one out as well. And the next one we're going to target will be the half-track. But before I do that, let me make a quick check here. Okay, I was correct. So the numbers going left to right would be, let's just grab they're all the same in this case, but you have turret front, hull front, and then side and rear. So in this case, they're all 2s. Well, we still have to try to hit them first, of course. And again, we still need that 2 to 6. And we got a 6. So we hit them again. This could end up being a relatively easy one, as long as we don't do something stupid like get into Panzerfaust range. And so now let's see what we get. The armor's the same. I mean, I'll roll it just for narrative purposes. We got a 2. That's going to be the turret. So we're looking at the turret at the top of the half-track, I guess. They don't really have turrets per se. So let's see what we get here. 4 is going to be destroyed again. So I've been rolling low. That's the key. Well, when you have penetration greater than their armor, as long as you don't roll a 3 or a 2, you're going to knock them out, basically. So that was much easier than I thought it would be. Now we roll to see if this infantry will target us. It's a 3. He does not. Let's see. Okay, so since they have not engaged us, we will move to the next round. And I do have my tank facing, my turret facing them already, so I can fire at them. Now, with these guys, we're going to fire our machine gun. Okay, and you can see the machine gun ammo has a 2-side and a 1-side. So the first, after we fire this, I'm going to flip this. I'll do it right now because we are firing machine guns at them. And this is the coaxial, which is going to be the one that's fired by the gunner. So it is sitting with the, it's basically with the, it points wherever the gun is pointing, right? So we just have to roll here on the HE machine gun attack chart. Now, the mud here, well, we have woods. So first of all, that's going to give us a +1 there for that. And we have a +1 mud if we use HE, but we're not using HE, we're using our machine gun. So we get a +1 for the woods terrain. And we're rolling in this column right here, and there's no to hit. And we got a 10, which is with the +1 becomes an 11, but it's still just a miss. So now this is our, I'm going to just put it here. This is our previous target. And they are also, of course, now attack. They will now automatically attack us next round. Now we'll do the same thing again, and I'm going to remove this because we will have to spend a command once we empty this gun. So we're going to fire that same machine gun, and this time we get a 9, which becomes a 10, and as we just saw, we get nothing. Okay, so now they get to attack us. So they use the, I think they use the same target, infantry versus tank. So this is the infantry versus tank. Now, we're not at close range, so we don't have to worry about this. This is what got us killed last time because we were at close range, but we are not at close range in this case. So that means they fire directly on this chart, the B2 chart, which is on the other side. But they have to fire in this column, and you can see a 2, 3, or 4 gives us a buttoned up, which we would have to check then for injuries. But that's it. They don't have really, they can't really do much. Infantry that's out of range of their anti-tank weapon can't really do that much to a tank, obviously. But they can rake us with machine gun fire and make us button up. So if they roll low enough, which they did not. Okay, so we move to the next round. Now I have 2 more here, so I'm going to fire both of these, and then in the following round, that's when I'll have to reload. So we got a 5 this time. And a 5 + 1 is a 6, because we still have the, actually we got the -1 now too. We have the -1 and the +1 offset, so that is just a 5, which is a 1 plus S. And now if we look over here, the number is step losses, so they're going to lose 1 step, and infantry is 2 steps. So this is their full strength side, and this is their reduced side. And then S is suppressed. You can see suppression, okay? Now, as far as what suppression does, what that does is it adds a +1 to the firer. Plus, they've got a step loss. So they're going to take a +2 on their fire, which is going to happen right now, which means that they really can only hit us on a 2. They rolled a 2. So we have to button up. Okay. So now we get to see what happens when we have to button up, because we do have to take checks for wounds here. Okay, so we have to check it here on our wound chart, right? So we'll start here with our driver. And a 5 is a light wound. Oh, a B result. So let's redo this. B result carries a wound check on a 1 or 2. So nothing for the driver. So we'll just flip him the button. Now we'll do our bow machine gunner. Okay, he's okay as well. Next up is the gunner. And he's a 4, so he's also okay. And then last but definitely not least is me, the commander, 4 as well. All right. Now the loader, I believe, doesn't need to make that check because he's down inside the turret anyway. That's why I don't have a marker on him, because he's got a hatch that I think is always closed. Anyway, so I believe that that's the case. I will certainly be corrected if it is not, because there are plenty of people who know the rules very well. So, okay, so that could have gone worse. Now we're going to take another crack at them, but now because we're buttoned up, we get another +1. So we have a -1 and a +1 for terrain, cancel each other out. Then we have this one for being buttoned up. So it's a +1 now on our roll here. And we got an 8. Oh, and that finishes our ammo, I think. Or is this a new round? Did I do two fires at them? I don't remember now. All right. Since we're already buttoned up, I don't even think we need to roll for them now, because they can't get anything but a B. The ST, that you get on a 12. Enemy units ignore that result. That's the stoppage. I could fire HE at them, but we would take an extra +1 because of the mud. So I'm going to spend my first command to reload my machine gun, and my second command to fire it. So I'm going to take 1 there. And we got a 7, which is a miss, I think. 7 is suppressed, and they're already suppressed. So that's the end of that, because we used both commands. They can't do anything, as far as I can tell. So we're going to spend our second one here. And we need to roll something low, and then we can knock them out. That's not going to work. Okay, now next turn, next round. That is a 6, so that becomes a 7, which again is a suppression result. We have 1 more left here, and that's a 9, so that's now gone. Now we're going to reload again. This could take forever until I knock them out finally. Too high. That's 1. 6 becomes a 7. This is why you don't want to be buttoned up. 5 becomes a 6, which is a 1 plus S. So they get eliminated. So finally, they are eliminated. And that ends our mission. Now we have to check for a counterattack. Okay, so I screwed up again because I've been skipping the event check. So let's do that first. And I'm sorry. I completely forgot about that. So let's roll. We get a 5. Destroy 1 random German anti-tank gun. No effect. Yeah, so see, it represents the notional forces fighting with you having some success. And so it's treated as no event because we don't have any. So now we roll to see if the Germans counterattack on a 6. They do not. Now, if the tank remains operational and the current mission type is attack or assault, that's right here. B, roll 1d6 at end of combat. We just did that. Set up the battle board again for defense. Then we would go proceed with sequence of play step 6 on the operations map. And that is this. You can see obtain awards and experience points. Spend experience points if desired or possible. Replace seriously wounded or KIA. Restock ammo. Exchange war trophies for items on chart W2 if desired. Oh, so we do need to roll for our possible war trophies here on W1. Let's see if I can find that one. Don't remember which card it's on. Here it is. Okay, so we're rolling on this one. We got a 9. That is an Iron Cross medal, which has a trade value of 2. Okay. That is this guy right here. As you can see on the back, trade value of 2. So I'm going to stick that on here because we have that now. Now, in terms of awards and experience and all that good stuff, we are again up for the military medal because we destroyed 3 enemy vehicles, which would give us an additional prestige point, and only NCOs, which we are eligible for this award. And its award numbers are 4. So you have to roll a number equal to or greater than a 4. So you have basically a 50-50 chance. And we didn't get it. For the second time, that's the second time that's happened to us. And that is the only award, I believe, that we are eligible for right now. Okay? Yes, that is true. Okay, so we're not eligible for promotion because we have not been in battle for 6 months. So we don't get any extra prestige points either, I believe, and we don't get any experience either, I believe. Actually, I'm wrong. We do get an experience point because that was our 3rd mission, 3rd successful mission. So we do get one. It was actually our 4th mission. So we do get an experience point for that. And that, yeah, that's it for now. We don't have anything else we need to do. So I'm going to reset everything here. Like I said, I usually start open, so I'm just going to flip these to open again and leave them there. And fix up my ammo. Just kind of, whoops. Go with that. For now, this back here. And I can take off all of this stuff here because these guys are destroyed. And take these off as well. Okay, so that does it for this one. I will give you guys one more chance to extend this because it seems like you're interested. It does decent in terms of views. So if you want me to continue, 30 likes, just as we've done the last 2 times. 30 likes gets another installment. Anything less than that, and I'll stop. So if you do want to see more, you know what to do. Give it another like. I'll probably move it to my secondary table to continue it. And yeah, as long as you guys keep wanting to see it, I will continue to do it. Otherwise, we'll just give it a stop at some point. And that, having said all that, I do want to thank all my members. We've added another member recently, so that's good. The number has grown. And I thank everybody who has taken the leap and done that to help support the channel. That is outstanding. Greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. If you are interested in finding out more about that or joining and becoming a member, you can click the join button that is underneath the player on YouTube and find out more about it. But regardless, thank you for watching. If you are a subscriber, I definitely appreciate that support as well. We are closing in on 5,000 subscribers. I am incredibly psyched about that. That was my goal for 2025, and it does seem like we are going to make it. Probably next month, probably in November would be my guess. So I do definitely appreciate everyone who has subscribed and continues to come back and check out the videos that I'm doing here on the channel. Please consider giving the video a like or a share or both. That would be awesome. But regardless, even if you do none of those things, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comments, corrections, etc., put them in the comment section. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, we are done. We are done here. Not sure if we'll be back for some more European action, European theater action, ETO action here in British Tank Ace from Compass Games, designed by Gregory M. Smith. We are done. Thank you. See you next time. I'm Joe, and this is Hexed Countered. Happy gaming.